Could you first please introduce yourself and kind of explain what you do for Primavera Sound?
So, my name is Joan Pons, and I'm the Director of Communications of
Yeah.
Primavera Sound. That means that everything you know about Primavera Sound is being overviewed by me. I mean, either if it's in a press release or in socials or in a contract or whatever. I mean, I'm some sort of the keeper of the voice or
Mhm.
style of Primavera Sound, and also of all the contents that we create to promote the festival or just for fun, because we love to create contents related to the festival. And I think it works for us as some sort of creating an ID or a proper ID for the festival.
Right.
That's me.
Well, so you seem like the right person to ask a lot of questions to. So I'll start with a
I
very
hope
simple.
so.
I'll start with a
Mhm.
very simple one. How are the preparations going for the 2023 edition?
Yeah, each year for Primavera Sound is a challenge. I mean, every festival is a challenge to make every year, but we try to make a different challenge every year because we don't know how to be quiet or how to be still. We like to improve. We like to test new things. Um, we like the risk, and we like to do different things from other years. I think it was in 14 we use a hashtag that is called best festival ever. It
Right.
was not a hashtag, it was a goal. I mean, every year has to be the best festival ever. So the preparations for every festival, it never looked the same than the
Right.
previous year. So this is always exciting, but it's also exhausting. But it's good. I mean, otherwise we will be bored. So this year everything is going fine. I think there is 2 months and a half to go. First in Barcelona and then in Madrid, and everything now is crazy. I mean, the full teams are doing a lot of things. There are thousands of mails to answer every day, so it's pretty crazy. But I love this. It's some sort of electric. There is an energy in it when you are doing something like that. Maybe you are made for this or not. We are obviously made for this.
But I mean, you mentioned an interesting point, and that is the intention to always improve and always grow. And you can see this from the beginning of Primavera Sound, where initially it was one day, I believe, in Barcelona, and then it expanded
Yeah.
to multiple, and then different locations, and now internationally over the past couple of years as well. What are the challenges in kind of exporting the festival to different locations?
Well, there's one challenge that is what we don't want to be. We don't want to be a franchise. I mean,
Okay.
we don't want to be a Starbucks or, well, I said Starbucks could be any other major
Sure.
corporation that goes to a place and don't read the room. I mean, when we go to a different country, we want this country or this city to be represented by the festival. I mean, we have to dialogue with the artists, with the city itself, with the administration, okay, with everyone in there. We want to be involved in the cultural life of
Mm.
that city. We also will bring cultural life because we have some sort of a trademark, and
Sure.
it's what we say uniqueness or only a Primavera. There are some things that only happens in a big festival like us. Um, if you compare with other festivals, maybe we are much riskier or bold, booking some headliners, or maybe we take care of the small print in the lineup in a way that no other festival do. So we want to bring this to different cities, but also want to bring the city into the festival. That's
Mm.
what we have in mind. Then we choose the city. I don't know. I think that probably every city in the world could have a Primavera Sound
Okay.
Festival in different sizes, because you need maybe there is a good communications connection for people to come or for artists to come. But since we consider ourselves music lovers, we think there are music lovers all over the world. So
Sure.
this is a festival for them. So everywhere are Primavera fans, even if they don't even know that are Primavera fans.
So yeah, are there already thoughts on even expanding further? Because some of these have only come in the last couple of years. But is that always on the mind? Like, where can we go next, or how can we reach more people?
Uh, If they are, I'm not aware of.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
the business development department, there are always they always have something cooking. But
Mm.
we know that last year we premiered in LATAM, and that was something that we were aiming to do for a long time. So it was sort of a dream, because we realized that there are no festivals like us there. So we thought that it would be a great idea to do it in Brazil, Argentina,
Mm.
and also in the last 3 or 4 years, we realized that each year we get much more and more visitors from LATAM. So it
Okay.
makes sense for us. The future, who knows?
We will see then. There's a
We'll see.
couple of
We'll see.
there's a couple of there have been a couple of trends, I suppose, in the recent years in terms of festivals, and I wonder if they and maybe they are just trends here in the Netherlands, but maybe they are kind of universal as well. So I want to ask you about some of those trends. And the first, you kind of alluded to it already with the headliners. I've heard that festivals are kind of becoming a superstar economy, where a headliner can kind of demand what he wants, and then it's difficult to find the right balance in terms of budget who you would ask to come play. How have you as a festival experienced this in terms of getting the right headliners but also making sure the rest of the programming is really up to par?
Okay, our motto is there is no small print in Primavera Sound. For us, is so important. I don't know, John Cale that is playing this year,
Mm.
and Shellac that plays every year at the festival, and I don't know, m- some DJ that plays at 4 a.m. They are they are all important for us. I mean, our matter is okay. This is much expensive than this other, but that doesn't mean that it's good or it's
Sure.
better than this other one. So for us, it makes sense the lineup when you have all balance. I mean, the big names and the small names, and all of them tell you something. Or tell you something about music, about present in music, or about ourselves, about Primavera. So as for the headliners, as you can imagine, every festival is the same thing, same
Hmm.
drill every year. You write some sort of letter to Santa, and we want these headliners, and then you can have the ones you can have. We always want to have the ones that make sense for us, that we feel by heart that it represents Primavera in some sort of way. Obviously, we have some red flags that we'll never have as a headliner. I don't know, some artists
Sure.
and some desires, long-time desired headliners that we love to be in the festival. But I think that every person from a professional from a festival that you interview can tell you the same thing as me.
And obviously, Santa has fulfilled your wish with somebody like Kendrick Lamar. So what was it like getting him to play the festival?
Well, you have to wait sometimes until the artist is on a festival tour, because
Mm.
sometimes they do first big shows or arena tour, and then they next year they do the festivals.
Mm.
You can notice that in some artists and some careers. So last year Kendrick Lamar tour in arenas was spectacular. I don't
Mm.
know if you seen him, but it was amazing. So we were absolutely convinced that we need to have Kendrick Lamar in the festival this year. So it finally happened. So we are pretty honored by this, but also proud because it is part of our story since the first time that we bring Kendrick Lamar to Barcelona and Primavera Sound, it was in 2014, and it was the first time he was headlining a
Okay.
festival.
Okay.
And it was kind of challenging for the audience as well to have a hip hop artist. And it was with the first record
Okay.
headlining Primavera Sound.
Right.
It was, wow, what's happening here? So it's already part of our story. So we feel very happy and excited about the show.
And I mean, booking somebody like of his stature is very interesting because have you noticed in terms certain artists can sell a lot of tickets either for their own shows or for festivals. Like the people want to
Mhm,
see Kendrick, so they'll buy a ticket for Primavera Sound just to see him. Um,
mhm.
have you noticed in terms of the audience, are they there for certain um, artists in particular, or is it more about the experience of Primavera Sound as a whole?
Mm, we like to think that the audience that came to Primavera came for the music and they are curious about
Mm,
music and they like to discover things. They also want to have fun. They need, as every audience, some crowd pleasers. And obviously, we have particular audiences that came only to see one artist. Last year, we bring Dreamcatcher, the K-pop band, and
sure.
obviously, the day that Dreamcatcher plays at the festival, there was a lot of fandom of K-pop and Dreamcatcher, and that we didn't see the previous days. So yes, I think that in different scales there is people that came only one day, but we like to think that most of the people that came to Primavera because the 3 day pass is the thing that we sell the most came
Okay.
for the artist, for the music. Um, we don't talk about the experience of being on a festival because sometimes the experience of being on a festival we don't know what it is. Is to
Sure.
take photographs for your Instagram account. It's having fun with your friends. What is? We are a festival for music lovers. I mean, we notice that the people in our festival are listening to the artists and they have their own schedules and try to go to different shows. So we like to think that they come for more than an artist, but I'm pretty sure that sometimes, as the K-pop example
Mm.
that I just told you, there are part of the audience that only came to see one artist.
You talked kind of about finding the balance and those four categories for a perfect
Mm,
festival day.
mm.
I also mentioned kind of the gender balance that has become a kind of a point of emphasis for the festival. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and how you try to fill certain positions and find certain female acts to fill those positions?
because, bec it is so easy to get the gender balance that we are surprised that we are almost the only festival
Mm,
that we are aiming to do it, or the bigger festival. I mean, 4 years ago, we almost get it without searching for it, and it
okay.
was something that said, okay, people say that this only could be possible in 2030 agenda. I said, no, it's not. If we want to, we can do it next year. So 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, we did the first gender balance lineup, and it was the new normal year. And somehow there are a lot of people that thought it was a campaign. No, it was not a campaign. It was a commitment, and it was some kind of a statement of the festival. It was
Mm,
our goal because this is something that we really believe in and is some sort of our trademark or identity. We think it's possible. We think it's worthy. And it's so easy to get. You just have to think differently. I mean, if you only think in rock music or rock bands, it will be much difficult that if you think in pop or in other styles of music, dance music or electronic music, there are so many headline artists that are female. So we want to believe that we are inspiring and can transform the society. However, we are already transforming or evolving because society
Sure.
evolves. I mean, there are every year more and more artists that doesn't feel represented by two genders that are non-binary. So
Mm.
we are doing a genders balance lineup, but opening a third category with the ones that are non-binary. And we think that it's good to be a reflection of the society in the festival, that we are not some sort of we are not living in a bubble. No, it's not something
Mhm.
that happens in your city during summer and that's it. No, we want to represent something.
Yeah, and I think this is where the tagline for this year, "I'll be your mirror," comes from, right?
Yeah, in part it came for this, for being a reflection of the society of our fans, of a reflection of our fans, but also because this is our first years that we do an edition in Barcelona and another one in Madrid. And our goal is that every festival it's a mirror of the other. It's some sort of reflection.
Mm.
And because it's poetic and it's taken from a song of the Velvet Underground that we love. So this is why.
Now, you mentioned the kind of society impacting what you do, and one thing that happened in society in the past couple of years, or maybe even longer, is the aim for a more sustainable future. And
Hmm.
certain things have already happened, like trying to reusable cups. But also, I believe Primavera is one who do kind of started with a green stage. So, what are the steps that you as a festival are taking to make it a more sustainable festival?
Okay, we know that sustainability is it's a long road. It's not a switch that you are
Mm.
on or you are sustainable or not sustainable. And every year you have to improve and you have to correct some things. Probably this year we are aiming to have almost 10. It's not definitive yet, but almost 10 green stages like the first
Mm.
that we test like last year.
Right.
So that is quite an example of the what I said, that it's a road. First you have to test one thing, then you have to improve it and try to make it better every year. And also we're aiming to be a plastic free festival, not just because of the reusable cups, but there is more plastic involved. So
Sure.
we are trying to approach this goal this year, and I hope we can make it because we want to make it. And next year there will be much more challenges and much more goals. So our aim is to be every year more sustainable than the previous one.
And with a lot of the things that we've already talked about, because one thing going on, especially in the last year as well, with the war in Ukraine, and there's been a lot of inflation. How
Hmm.
is it? What are the challenges in terms of budget, in a sense? Because I think logistically everything has become more expensive, and then you have to ask yourself the question: okay, do we want to ask more for a ticket price, or how do we kind of still make the festival accessible with all the rising costs of kind of society these days?
Well, as you said, the price of life is getting much more expensive every year, and we're just culture. But okay, culture is a right. We also think
Mm.
about this, but it is true that live music industry is getting much more expensive than other years. That's because so many reasons. 2 years of pandemics,
Sure.
the logistics are more expensive. even what you need for the visas you need for touring
Sure.
different countries are getting expensive. If you bring your own material or your own stage props with you, it's very expensive.
Right.
You can see that some bands, not the festivals, not the promoters, already announced in their socials that they're not touring anymore. I think in Animal Collective that made some sort of a statement telling that it's not worthy for them anymore. They cannot afford touring, so
Mm.
it's getting much expensive, very expensive. But I think that if you compare the price of a day ticket of the festival, even the 3-day tickets, with the price of a solo concert of a solo artist, we are cheaper. Cheaper
Mm.
meaning that you can see, if you are a lazy member of the artist, 1, 2, 3 shows in a day that you have 80.
Right.
But if you want to see these 1, 2, 3 shows playing solo in just a concert, it will be more or less the same price.
Mm.
So we're trying to adjust the price of our tickets, giving perks to our longtime fans or discounts for the audience that lives around the cities that hold the festival, or for the young members of the audience, because we know that every year it's more expensive to be in the live music industry.
No, I think you mentioned the idea of providing discounts to people to the local area, and I think that is
Yeah,
really
yeah.
the way that keeps kind of the local people involved in the festival, and not just
Mm.
people from the Netherlands and stuff coming over. So I think that's a very very good development. Last question then, because I think time's running out a little bit, but
Mm.
what are you most excited about for this new festival season? Are there, and it can be from anything to an act to some other type of programming. What are you looking forward to? And because you mentioned how busy and how kind of anxious and excited you are, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm excited about different things. One is Madrid, because my wife is from Madrid, and
Okay.
I really like the idea of having a festival in Barcelona and another one in Madrid. It's like our own story represented by the festival. Uh, but the site in Madrid, the venue where the festival takes place, is amazing. I mean,
Mm.
it was built for holding festivals, so it's perfect in some ways. It's like, okay, we fell in love with this site because here everything seems easy there. So we think that people will fall in love with this venue as well as we did, because I mean, it's like, wow, this is something that we never expect before, that a place where people thought about the festival and then build it.
Mm.
No, a place already built, and then we try to do a festival there. And then there's a lot of things in the lineup that I want to see. Then I have no time to see during the festival, but I want to see, I don't know, John Cale, I want to see Eddie Palmieri, I want to see Laurie Anderson,
Mm.
but I also want to see Turnstile or Le Tigre, or Moldy Peaches. You name it. There are at least 30, 40 shows that I want to see in the festival. And every year is the same thing. It's like, oh, how much I want to see this show. And then I have something to do related with my work, and I miss most of the shows that I love.
Well, I wish you the best with all the preparations and kind of the work that you still have to do that's still in front of you. But also, I hope that you get maybe 10 or 20 minutes every once in a while where you can slip out and watch
Yeah,
some
let's
music.
make it.
It's good for you for the work ethic, for the motivation.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much, Robin.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.